Hey guys, I'm going to share with you the 9 most common fears. Some are funny, some you might have, and some I might have. Relax. Your fears are most likely worse than reality.
Oh.
You're creating stories in your mind that aren't even true, outcomes that aren't even true. Relax. Once you do what you fear, it no longer is your master. You have controlled it. Here are some of the top 9 most common fears. Number 1, social phobias. Social phobias are the most common type of fear. They're considered an anxiety disorder and include excessive self-consciousness in social situations. Some people can fear being judged so much that they avoid specific situations, like eating in front of other people. Up to 1 in 20 people have a social phobia. Next is agoraphobia. It's the fear of being in open spaces. It's generally understood to be a fear of open spaces, but agoraphobia is much more complex. It's a serious anxiety disorder that traps people in their home, maybe not even where they want to go outside. Some people with agoraphobia avoid specific places or venues. Now, acrophobia is a fear of heights. I gotta be honest with you, I have this one. I moved to the 17th floor of my building, partly because I like the view, but partly to conquer this fear. Some people get vertigo in there, they get dizzy, or they have a fear of falling. And I have this fear, but I moved to the 17th floor of my building trying to conquer that fear. Next one is the word right here, but it's the fear of flying. And I used to have this fear of flying, or maybe it's not the fear of flying so much, but the fear of crashing. I had this fear, and the way that I conquered this fear was really 3 ways. Number 1, I didn't do this on purpose, but I moved near the airport. And I heard those planes taking off over my house every day. And I realized, whoa, there are so many planes in the air, and there's hardly ever a disaster. The next thing that I did is I just started flying. I had to fly for my job. I'm a speaker. I had to travel. And by doing it over and over again, the fear became less and less and less, and even fun. And then finally, I think my really biggest breakthrough was I was reading a magazine as I was on an airplane. And it was a magazine about World War II. And it was about World War II fighter pilots. And it clicked in my head just like that. These men were in these airplanes 70 years ago. They were shooting at other men, and they were doing it. I am in this airplane. Nobody is shooting at me, and I have 70 years of technology on my side. I have nothing to fear. And when I put it in perspective like that, I really realized that this was kind of an irrational fear. Although it's high, being up 30,000 feet. It was a fear that I had, but a fear I also got over. With that said, I hate turbulence. The next fear is claustrophobia. I hate to make this sound like I have so many of these fears, but I got put in an MRI tube once, and when they put me in that MRI tube, I had to have them take me out. My heart was racing. I could not believe how that claustrophobia made me feel. Claustrophobia is the fear of enclosed spaces. Sometimes the fear of flying is actually more closely linked to the fear of enclosed spaces. People will say this fear is they feel like the walls are closing in on them. Some theories suggest that there is a genetic link to specific phobias as a kind of dormant survival mechanism. Next, entomophobia is the fear of insects. They are small, they crawl, they bite, and it's understandable why people are afraid of spiders or insects. But they're a crucial link in the food chain, and we cannot live without them. Ophidiophobia, that word right here, fear of snakes. Indiana Jones said, I hate snakes, and he is not alone. There's something natural about being afraid of snakes. They got venom, they're poisonous. But if you leave snakes alone, they might leave you alone. Trypanophobia is the fear of needles. Having a sharp piece of metal stuck in your arm at the doctor's office is always an unpleasant thought, and many people develop a strong aversion to needles. But needles are typically worth the pain, and they deliver vaccines or blood donations or help you get healthier. So it is a real phobia, but also maybe not totally rational. The most common fear in America, the most common fear that most people have, 25% of people have the fear of public speaking. They are afraid of getting up on a stage and giving a speech. Jerry Seinfeld, the comedian, used to say, if you're going to a funeral, more people would rather be dead in the casket than giving the eulogy. That's how afraid some people are of giving a speech. So these are the 9 most common fears. Some of you may have some of them. By the way, if you are afraid of public speaking, I do have a video on that, and you might want to click the link down below to watch that video. I also have some other resources down below, some free memory tips. Comment and let me know, what are you afraid of? What are your fears? But more importantly, how are you going to conquer your fear? Did you get any good advice here from me today on how to conquer your fears? Give me a like if you liked it, and I'll see you on the next video.